Hi, I'm Shani Hugo-Wurlitzer, and I'm with Alexandra Pope. We're the co-founders of Red School. We're talking today about menopause, and I'm here with Alexandra because I would love her to share her experience of menopause. I think we can learn so much from story, and Alexandra's is a wonderful story to hear from. So, Alexandra, could you just tell us about your experience of menopause, when you got the first sniffs of it, and what happened in your life and what it was like when you came out the other side?
The first kind of sniff was, of course, in my 40s when I realized I was no longer in the young club. I mean, I wasn't in menopause by a long chalk. I had like another, 8 years or more to go. But I also remember that perhaps the really most significant thing for me was at 48 when my book, The Wild Genie, had just come out. And I suddenly realized that it was over in Australia. And I'd been living in Australia for about 20 years at that point. And I knew that it was over, that I had to move back to the UK. And I had no idea how that could be possible because I was self-employed, all my networks were in Australia, etc., etc. But ever the optimist, I told nobody initially, but I put it out to the universe. I said, universe, I haven't got a clue how to do this. You work it out. And then I started really to get the kind of clues, and I had really synchronicity after synchronicity that started to occur for me. It was quite magical, actually. And I really started to follow those clues. Simultaneously, as that is going on, I can feel the breakdown going on in me, the ending process. And that did involve a few rounds with my inner critic telling me I had not amounted to much, that I hadn't really achieved that much. It wasn't looking pretty, my life. And my critic is second to none, And I was delivering some beauties to me. And so I remember, frustrations, and I do remember a lot of anger, actually, and actually anger with the universe. But also on my side was this feeling of being held by something. I've always been held until I didn't feel held when I had the abandonment moment. But all my life I've been held by something, and it has been my calling that has held me. And actually, I've always known what my business is, and I've always held true to my inner calling. I'm really proud of myself for that, actually. And I could answer my critic back on that point. So that sort of sustained me. And also I had worked with my cycle very closely, and I felt ready for menopause. I actually it was good and healthy, and menstruation was no longer a problem. But I knew it was right and timely, and it was part of my maturation process. So that was absolutely fine. But it is nonetheless a death and rebirth. And the death part was this extraordinary feeling of abandonment where the earth fell away from me internally. And the sense that even the gods and goddesses were no longer there, because I've always had a connection to spiritual dimensions. And it was to feel I was utterly alone. And I now realize how crucial that is, that somehow that it was like the gods and goddesses were betraying me by abandoning me. And betrayal is so archetypally the powerful moment of evolution where you step up and go, you know what, I'm responsible. I'm the god or the goddess, I'm it. I've got to take authority, take charge now. And that was at the heart of what was going on with that abandonment. And I held true to my focus and because of course everything changes at menopause, and I changed everything. I changed countries, I changed my career because I abandoned being a psychotherapist. I was very grateful for that career and the learnings I had got from it, but I was stepping into my calling, which was the menstruality work. And I knew that had to be over in Europe, because I knew that if I was in the UK, I would be in the center of the universe, that I was much more, there was just more people. I used to say it's a numbers game. That's why I'm going back. But it also was because it was the soil I personally, psychologically needed to be back in again, because I was originally English and then became Australian. So I made the move back to the UK. And actually, when you're in the stream of your calling, things happen. When you've said yes to your calling, things happen. And I am a proactive person, as you know, Shani. but the things I put out for didn't necessarily manifest, but things came to me. It was incredible. So really, then I was being supported, and I felt this huge in the flow. I was in the flow, and I had this amazing feeling of freedom, that I was in the right place. I felt trust. I felt this profound trust, actually. I mean, yes, I went through that phase of thinking, of forgetting everything I had done. And that was my critic going a little hard time again. But I did remember, and I more than remembered, and I really docked in much more deeply into my own essence, into what my gifts are. There's just one funny story I have to tell, which is that I used to go around slapping my forehead going, oh, so that's who I am. I mean, it seems hilarious now, but I honestly did that. Oh, so that's who I am. I'm not a blah, blah person. I'm really a XYZ person, you know. It was, I mean, I've always known that, but it was like I was having the revelation for the first time. That is such a freedom. Oh, and that it's okay to be that person.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds so 101 of personal development, but what the hell? There you go.
No, that's huge. That sounds like an incredible grace of like really getting to know yourself at a very deep level, making peace with who you are.
Making peace, Shani.
That is so beautiful. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Alexandra. That story is, it does so many things. One, it gives me a whole new realm of possibility for what menopause could be. And two, it's just incredibly inspiring, really, because I know you out the other side, and you are a woman who knows her business and is really, you know, here to serve something larger. And your menopause has delivered you to such a brilliant place. And well, I, for one, am very grateful. So thank you so much. So, you know, we're really into changing the story around menopause and reclaiming the power of it, dignifying it. And if you would like to learn more about that, we have a little mini menopause course that you can come and join. We have all the links below. So do check that out, where we'll be offering lots of good solutions, ideas, things you need to know to really create and experience menopause in a healthy, good, empowering way. So thank you. Thanks, Alexandra.
Thank you, Shani.